Welcome back. So the Blue Trial review, beautiful, strange, but slightly lost. Alright, the Blue Trial is one of those films that feels deeply important, but also a little frustrating. It's a Brazilian light sci-fi comedy with a powerful premise, stunning visuals, and an incredible lead performance. But whether it fully comes together, that's a different story. Let's break it down. At its core, the Blue Trial imagines a pretty unsettling world. In this version of Brazil, once people reach a certain age, originally 80, later lowered to 75, they are essentially forced out of society. They lose independence, are placed under their children's control, and are sent away to government controlled colonies. Yeah, it's dystopian, but not in over the top sci fi way. It's quite bureaucratic, almost casual, and that's what makes it harder. The story follows Teresa, played by Denise, who is easily the best part of the entire film. Teresa is independent, still working, and fully capable of living her life. But suddenly, the system decides she no longer has value, and that's really the what the film is about. A society that measures human worth based on productivity. If you can't contribute, you are discarded. Now, instead of accepting this fate, Teresa pushes back. She tries to escape. This leads her on a strange, almost dreamlike journey through Brazil, especially the Amazon, where the film really leans into its visual strengths. And visually, this movie is gorgeous. The landscapes are stunning, the cinematography feels alive, and the environments almost become characters themselves. There's also this weird, almost psychedelic element introduced through the idea of blue trail, a substance that can trigger visions of the future. It's a fascinating concept, but here's the problem. The film doesn't fully explore it, and that's one of the biggest issue with the blue trail. Overall, it had all these amazing ideas: aging, control, freedom, identity, even surreal sci-fi elements, but it never quite ties them together into a strong narrative. At a certain point, the story just starts to drift. Characters come and go, plot threads are introduced and dropped. Even a potentially important characters like Cardo, who travels with Teresa for a while, just fades out of the story. So instead of building towards something powerful, the film becomes more of a wandering experience. Now, to be fair, that slow, meandering pace isn't entirely a bad thing. If you're willing to just go along for the ride, there's something oddly calming and immersive about it. The music helps a lot too. The score is incredibly unique, mixing instruments like bass, synths, and tubas, even industrial sounds to create something that feels unpredictable and alive. And through it all, Denise Winberg holds everything together. Her performance is strong, vulnerable, and deeply human. Even when the story loses focus, she keeps you emotionally grounded. By the end, the film circles back to a pretty bleak idea. In this world, if you are not useful, you are invisible, and the only way to survive is to keep feeding the system that devalues you. It's a powerful message, but getting there feels a bit messy. So, overall, The Blue Trail is a visually stunning, thematically rich, and carried by an incredible lead performance. But at the same time, it's unfocused, meandering, and doesn't fully live up to its potential. It's the kind of film you admire more than you can actually enjoy. Thank you for watching. Bye.